was Draconis seen at all in the second? Was he banned? I don't think he was even banned. So he was just completely passed up last game, which I found a little bit interesting the more I thought about it. But here we are. We got Tundra and Polywog Priest blind banned by FiT, and then Pebbles and Keeper of the Forest yet again banned by Impunity. So something about that Keeper of the Forest, man. Impunity just does not want to play it, at least against FiT here, all 3 games. But Morax is the first lock as a result of that. But yeah, I wonder if Draconis is maybe going to come back here for FiT.
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, he definitely could be locked. Well, actually, FiT had great success with him. It was locked by Impunity. But now, interesting, the lock comes out from Panny, and it's Moraxis, and it was actually banned by him in the blind banning both games. So that's kind of interesting. Lock Tempest now coming out from Ninja Boogie, and then Tundra also is another interesting ban there in the blind ban phase from Panny, as they just played him last game. They are Legion again, so I'm kind of curious as to why they're blind banning, but maybe they're just so, distraught the fact that they lost that game and they were playing Tundra. They just don't want to deal with him again. Not quite sure there, but yeah, Luna also followed up there with a lock from Ninja Boogie, so pretty solid locks right now. And then a quick lock there coming out from Penny is from Glacius. So good, 2 very, very strong supports in there, as well as Parasite now.
Yeah, this is definitely looking like our most powerful locked pool yet out of this series. We've at least had 1 or 2 more trollish style heroes in the first couple of games here. But this third game, depending on how it finishes off now from Impunity, looks like, again, very, very, very strong. You got your Tempest, a Luna, Glacius, Moraxis, Parasite, and now the final one is upon us. And as you see, big shout out to Throw right there, doing the global messaging, missing an amazing series, and that definitely does fit it very well, because it definitely has been a really, really fun series to cast here. And again, a shout out to Impunity, man. It's early morning for them, and I believe Ninja Boogie, or one of their players, was even saying, well, I got class in an hour and a half to go to, so so waking up early in the morning to play some HoN and then going to class right after. Nothing like that. Gemini, the final lock here. So we actually saw him lock the other day, and I believe I brought it up to you, and it sounded like it. Not really a hero that it makes too much sense in the competitive HoN scene. Just a really weak early start, but you never know. Again, that's the great thing about lock picking. Maybe there will come that chance where he's picked, but with this lock pool, I don't see it happening here. So
it sure would be fun to see him picked. That's for sure. But I doubt it. Something tells me he won't get picked, especially with the log pool that's in there with the Luna, and actually 2 of them are bugged again. Yet again for me, Luna, and I think it's who's that first one?
Moraxis, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very strong lock pick pool there. And now the bans have started here, and let's see, here we go. Electrician, as well as Jerizai, Bubbles, and these are going pretty quickly. Nymph4, a very, very smart band there coming out from Ninja Boogie. We both know, and I'm sure now Impunity does, just how much Panny values, and the whole team values Nymph4. They play him very well. Very, very strong hero. And so, good decision right there.
Yeah, of course, we saw him in the first game, just like Draconis, going back to him. Played by FiT, and boy, were both those heroes very, very powerful. So the banning phase, it is actually just about finished now. Both teams have 1 more ban to go, if I'm not mistaken. Then we'll be going into the pick phase. Silhouette, Mage Ban, and Dark Lady. Once again, all 3 are still open, and I believe that's been the case for this whole series, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, last game we did see Silhouette picked up, sure enough, by the losing team, actually, by FiT. That's Forsaken Archer was able to hold their ground. So Plague Rider going to be banned there, and then Wild Soul, the final ban by Impunity yet again, as obviously that first game with Probusk, I believe it was for FiT, playing him. Played a pretty powerful Wild Soul, so Impunity had enough of that after that first game. Wretched Hag going to be snapped first picked here by FiT, so again, very confident with who they're going to go with that first pick.
Yeah, I think we've seen a Wretched Hag in both games now. Is that correct? And
I believe so, yeah.
I think it was played by each team as well. Yeah, it was played first by Sequence, and then followed up by Ninja Boogie. And each game, Wretched Hag was the winner, or I should say that he won in that game. So maybe there's something to that. They just want to pick the Hag. They've seen a trend here.
Noticing a trend. So why even play the game, right? Let's just give the win to FiT with the Wretched Hag pick.
Exactly.
No, it's powerful hero, so not really too surprising. But Ophelia is on the board now. Of course, you are dealing with a Parasite in that lock pool, but could you see Impunity perhaps picking up Ophelia here, or FiT for that matter?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never seen Impunity run Ophelia. Then again, I haven't really seen them do that much, except for the 2 games that we've seen them play. But I think with the fact that both Parasite and Glacius are in the pool, kind of makes it a little more difficult to run. Ophelia, but it's possible. I think Glacius is the bigger problem. But they do go with a Magnus. Interesting. I like that. I love seeing Magnus play because usually it means somewhat aggressive game. So Magnus is a great pickup here.
Yeah, our first Magnus of the series, I believe. I don't think we saw him either first two of the games, so going to be played by Impunity here, and they're losing time, and it's Pharaoh is actually going to be the counter, and that makes me wonder a little bit if they're almost expecting FiT to maybe pick up that Tempest. And
Yeah.
thinking Pharaoh's an excellent counter to him, of course. So, yeah, Magnus Pharaoh to start off here for Impunity.
You know who I actually think is even a better counter to Tempest is that Parasite there.
Yeah,
He's a very, very strong counter. You can't even get a Shrunken Head and Ultimate if that Parasite has good positioning because the Ultimate does go through the Shrunken Head, so you need a Shrunken as well as a Null Stone in order to block that. So, and that's a lot of gold
yeah.
to farm up. So, yeah, interesting Pharaoh pickup. I don't know if I really agree with that, but still a very, very strong hero. He it's kind of the thing with him is kind of awkward to lane, and pretty much anything beats him as far as a ranged hero goes.
Yeah.
And you know, especially if we have a Hag, we're very likely to see a Hag versus Pharaoh matchup somewhere in this game. It could happen, and I definitely give the edge to Hag.
The thing with Pharaoh, though, I will say, is that, man, that hero can be great for initiation, of course, with the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and especially when it's that level 6, 7 mark, similar to something like a Bubbles. You know, you start moving around right away, and that could set up a lot of kills early on in the game. So that's definitely a big benefit of having a hero like Pharaoh, so we'll see if Impunity gets to play him that way. Demented Shaman going to be picked up here by FiT and Dark Lady. So there we go with the Dark Lady pickup to finish it off, at least the regular picking stage here for FiT. Dark Lady and Demented Shaman, both heroes new in the series now here in Game 3.
Yeah, I like that. Like I said, though, the way this looks is probably going to be a support Demented Shaman. Yeah. But that's never my favorite route. I really, really like the Demented Shaman as a solo route, but it doesn't mean they can't do that. It's just most likely that's what they're going to do, especially with the lock pick, or the lock pool having, you know, two of the best support heroes in the game. But anyway, Valkyrie now picked up. Very interesting pick. He gets a lot of flack from the community for having that nerf affect his arrow. It definitely makes an impact, especially in the laning phase. You know, Valkyrie Magnus is not as strong as it used to be. And now Marax is picked up by FiT. That is interesting because they did ban him 2 games, and now they first locked him here, and they picked him up. So they have maybe a strategy in mind here.
Yeah, but now this definitely opens up a lot of options for Impunity, of course. You know, they could run, say, the Tempest Glacius here, you know, something like that. Or they can go with a Parasite Glacius if they want to do switch that jungle. There's the Glacius, and they got about 10 seconds left, so need to choose quickly here. But what is their final pick going to be? Ooh! Oh my God! It is going to be Gemini. I was going to say they do need a carry still technically. I mean, Valkyrie she can be that semi carry, but definitely not consider that more that hard carry. And well, Gemini, I think you said he gets off to an early start, but he can really be powerful on the late game stage if you get him there. There we go. We get to see Gemini here in Game 3. So, and I know you mentioned Zaluna's actually the last pick there for FiT, but I know you mentioned when we talked about him last time, you've actually been playing him every now and then when you've been streaming lately. So,
yeah, I've played a number. I've been trying to get good at heroes that I've never played before, and so I've been playing a lot of different heroes that are not necessarily picked up that much. I've played a lot of Gemini. Now, the only thing with this game that I think he's going to really struggle is the Dark Lady Blades. The Silence Blades are really going to screw him up when he's in the ultimate form because it does hit it silences everything you charge through, and with him having both of those wolves out, it's going to silence both of them. That's going to be a little annoying for him, so I think that's going to be a very rough thing for him to deal with this game.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy to see this hero in the game. You know, I'm interested to see how well he fares. I expect him maybe in some sort of dual lane, maybe with Glacius. I'm not quite sure. That's the other awkward thing with the hero is normally you like to see him in a solo role because that experience early on in him is very effective. But he's not the greatest solo laner, so yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how they do this.
Lady Ricardo, of course, he played the great Forsaken Archer last game, so definitely knows what it takes to be that hard carry for the team. So going to try to, you know, redo that here in game number 3 with Gemini this time around. Playing them, I believe that's the mechanical Gemini, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact name of it, but yeah, it looks pretty sweet, more Transformer style. Man, yeah, get to see Gemini. That's always fun. The the thing I really like about this, because we tend to see newer heroes that we don't get to see a whole lot is in other matches as well. But usually it's in like a best out of 1 series, even between like 2 no-name teams, or maybe best out of 3. But it's usually in the first game, trying to catch them off guard. But again, this is game 3. This is such a big match. Cannot keep stressing that enough. And both teams undefeated coming into this. This will determine who's going to be ahead the other, and who will have that head-to-head tiebreaker matchup as well as a result of that victory. So this is game number 3. This is the game that really matters for Impunity and FiT. And Impunity, man, showing some cojones here, going with the Gemini pickup, and see if they can make it work. So the reconnect happens, and it looks like we should be coming out of the pause shortly here. In fact, there we go. The countdown has started, and we are now coming out of the pause. But like you were talking about too, FiT's lineup, it's a powerful one over here. Starts with that Dark Lady, of course, in the way. They went with that Moraxis, so they happen to blind ban for both the first 2 games. And sure enough, first lock and first pick here for them out of the lock pool, sending 4 heroes off the bat at this bottom lane. So they're going to once again protect the ward spot and also maybe try to get engaged in a little bit of fighting action. But Hellborn team, they're sending a power team down here as well. Gemini, Glacius, Magnus, and Valkyrie all heading down here, so this, once again, could get really interesting to start.
Yeah, and I actually, now that I think about it, there's going to be some engagements here. They're both doing and Miraxis coming in the front lines. There's 4 heroes literally clumped up right there. I feel like they might have been able to even down them before anything happened.
Yeah.
But Demented Shaman is there as well, so that's another thing to think about, is when you think you can give someone, you might not be able to, because that heal is very effective, although you didn't even skill it. Maybe he was just waiting for something, but that was very interesting. Yeah, now that I think about it, I could actually understand these lanes a lot better from Impunity's side, with a very, very strong tri-lane, Magnus, Glacius, Valkyrie here, a solo Pharaoh, and then a solo Gemini who's looking like he wants to go up top against this this Wretched Hag. That should be an interesting matchup right there. I definitely give the edge to Hag, but I don't know. It's going to be. I feel like he's still going to be able to get good creep kills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, again, with a newer hero like this, that I mean, again, I'm trying to think back. I think we've seen him maybe once or twice before in Honcast, but I don't even know. Obviously, I think this is the biggest skill match by far that we've definitely seen him in. So, really interested to see not only with both the talents and the item build that he goes for. Again, being played by Lady Ricardo. So, keep an eye out on that. But the lanes do come about, and as we were talking about, we have the Pharaoh mid, the Gemini top, and that, sure enough, that tri-lane. And yeah, you're right, very powerful tri-lane. Valkyrie Magnus, that goes old school right there. But I mean, just those 2 alone, so strong. You had a Glacius on top of that. Although it looks like Glacius is going to head mid, and probably for the good reason. Pharaoh is 1 versus 2 here in the middle lane against Demented Shaman Dark Lady. So Glacius is going to come mid and give support. And what's somewhat odd, usually you'd have Pharaoh in that solo line, Suicide even, but it makes sense making the adjustment here to the middle lane.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that. I feel like he should just stay bottom, go with this 3v2 situation, and get sure kills every single time they decide to use their spells. Pharaoh doesn't really need someone there. It's not really important that we got to give this Pharaoh farm, guys. It's not that big of a deal. And also, you don't want to jeopardize his ability to get full experience in the mid lane as a melee hero, because you're going to get way more experience from denied creeps as a melee hero than you are a ranged hero. And as well as the middle lane, it's much easier because the lane always seems to be pushing back and forth. So it's not like you can really worry about lane control in the mid lane. So I definitely don't really like the Glacius coming mid. I think they could just get kill after kill bottom lane in a 3v2 situation with all those stuns combined with Magnus and Valkyrie.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it makes a lot more sense when you're talking about it, that maybe this isn't as effective or as obvious as I was even suggesting as it was right off the bat. But, well, the move has been made, and it seems like he is pretty much committing to staying here with this Pharaoh. So we'll see how it pays off. And then if you see an Ice Imprisonment used right there, Pharaoh was running in. He was trying to get maybe even that Mummy Wall off. The Charging Strikes does not go through the Mummy Wall, right? I don't think you can get out.
Oh boy, here's when the stream.
Because I know that it goes around terrain. You can't like go up cliffs and stuff. So.
Right.
But
I don't think it does. But here comes all the spams in 6 minutes.
You idiot! You're so stupid. How do you not know this? You don't know every single little game mechanic. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there will become an instance where we'll at least see it somewhat and go from there. You do see, of course, Taint Soul being used right there by Dark Lady, and that's just one of those abilities that helps make her so powerful when it comes to farming. That on top of the Hatchet, of course. maximize her potential here. Back to the bottom lane, we do see Valkyrie. Of course, Valkyrie is being the focus of the farm, just as is Moraxis. And speaking of that, we got Moraxis 15-9 compared to a 3-0 Valkyrie. So domination at its finest down here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a melee hero, does he have a hatchet? He does have a hatchet. So melee heroes with hatchets always have a very, very easy time getting last hits. And right there, yeah, he's just seems like he's getting every single one. 16-11 now. Valkyrie struggling. 3-0. Boy, this is why I wanted to see this Glacius sit down here. He would be so pressured that he wouldn't even be able to get to the creep wave. And now the lane is pushed up, and they're losing this lane very badly. Hopefully they can salvage it once they hit level 3 and maybe get a kill on Via Luna there. But does she have boots? She does not have boots, so she's definitely the target to go for. But yeah, Moraxis having a fantastic time here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so, well, again, it's that's going to be huge here for FiT, of course, as far as their start goes. Top lane, of course, this is a really intriguing one to see how Gemini fares. It is right now tied in levels at least, and it seems like farm's not going too shabby. Bottom lane looks like the possible initiation. Nope, not going to be happening now. So back to the top lane, you look at the creep farm, 9-3 Gemini compared to a 9-7, now 10-7 Wretched Hag. So keeping it close, but Hag does have that slight advantage. As you're suggesting, you know, maybe not too surprising. Gemini does go for the early Grave Locket, by the way, as his first item choice. So right off the bat, going for that Grave Locket, not even going for boots or anything else. We see Pharaoh in the middle lane, Hellfire activated, but both Demented Shaman and Dark Lady fall back. So what do you make of that, though? Grave Locket before even boots or anything else?
That's actually what I usually do as well. And I don't know if there's a way to tell from a spectator stamp, but I'm guessing that he put his other 3 points now into stats. I don't know how to check it.
You can as a spectator, yeah, at least that I know of, but that'd be really crazy if there actually is a way that I just haven't known for this whole time. But yeah, I believe you are right that he has 3 in the stats, but yeah, you can't necessarily confirm that, but probably is the case.
Right. Something tells me too, I can't remember, but I feel like, I don't know, I just think it's a smarter decision to level up your Q spell as Gemini, because it's just a very great spamming and farming tool in general. I would not like to rely on the Wolves being able to spam that once you get that level 6 ultimate, but he's going to go for that very, very like old school when Gemini was considered OP
yeah.
stats build on him, which was
get
like
them bracers.
Get them bracers, yep, get that Reaver up, or what is it called,
the Axe of the Malphite?
Axe of the Malphite,
yeah.
yes. And just get that tanky nature in him, and
yeah.
that's probably what he's going to do. I'm not sure.
Wow, look at the damage he just did right there. He splits up and jumps on a Hag and gets her to half life right there. Now Glacius came over, so it seemed like almost if Gemini waited for Glacius, maybe they would have been able to do something. But I was also going to bring this up. I mean, what do you think about him getting his ultimate at 6? Is that normal? Is that expected to get that ultimate at 6?
I mean, there's a lot of different philosophies of how to play him. I think it's very good. Yeah. One of the things I'm going to attribute Angry Text to this also is the Orange Wolf in particular. If you go mid, obviously he didn't go mid, but you can actually refill a bottle on him with just the Orange Wolf, and then send him back, and then use your ultimate to combine them two, and then bottle up and be full on both.
Really?
Wolves.
So bottle carrying.
Huh. Yeah, it's a very interesting tactic. It's almost like bottle crowing in a sense. Obviously, it's not that effective when you're in a side lane like this, but it's an interesting thing to think about. So, but just my point is that you can be very mobile with the ultimate. So I actually really like the idea of leveling up the ultimate. And actually Initiation coming out here with help from Glacius, and he just gets demolished there. So Probusk dying there. Lady Ricardo picking up that Bloodlust kill.
Wow, yeah, showing right there the strength of Gemini. As you said, only has the level 1 in Q and W, but of course with the split, I'm guessing, and I said of course, but I'm not even certain. So the split up of the Wolves, those have their own static damage with their abilities. Or does it scale off your leveling up of the Q and the W?
See, that's what I'm trying to remember. Someone told me that it did. I don't think it does, though. Looking on here, it doesn't look like it, so maybe we'll have to check at the tooltip once he goes in that ultimate form again. But either way, the stats build is very, very strong. You actually can't even tell when he goes in that form.
That's the problem.
But, I mean, he did a ton of damage. It didn't look like it scaled.
Yeah, so. That's what I was getting at. As we saw right there, it seemed like that was a good amount of damage, and if that even goes further, if he levels that up, that's just absolutely ridiculous. But so I wouldn't think it does. But anyways, back to the bottom lane, we have Pharaoh coming in with an Invis rune. He sets out the Mummy one of Moraxis. All of a sudden, Moraxis is like, where the hell did you come from? But the turnaround trying to have him. Moraxis taking so much damage. Wrath of the Pharaoh Wave going to be used. But look at Moraxis still somehow alive. It looks like he's going to fall. Oh no, that Quake stun! And he's going to barely barely biting through, but the Tormented Soul comes out, and he will be picked off when it's all said and done. Man, Miraculous, even without his ultimate, somehow surviving as long as he did, but in the end fell, and it gets taken out. It's a good job by Pharaoh, although that wasn't your normal Pharaoh gank by any means, but he came with the Invis Rune, set up a great Mummy Wall, and eventually got the kill, and Valkyrie also stayed alive throughout all that. Now, the downside, Dark Lady does continue to free farm here in the middle lane, it seems like, as she is now 42 and 18, by far the top in the game, so...
Yeah,
she's already good.
She's already got her sustainer. She's having a great game so far. An interesting note about that little skirmish is the Arcane Shield actually absorbed the arrow from Valkyrie. Very interesting little, thing that happens there. A lot of people don't think that it could actually absorb it. Yes, it can, and it does. So, very, very good skill there. And that attributes, just a smart play there by Sequence. A lot of people don't actually level up the Arcane Shield this early. I think it's a great way. I think it's a very, very smart thing to do. And so, props to him.
You see right here, actually, Valkyrie leaping in, but Dark Lady using everything is not just going to start falling back and, again, continue to farm. You see where, actually, Gemini, he does go all the way back to base with that orange dog. So I'm wondering, is he going to purchase it? Yeah, he does purchase the bolstering armband on it, and now he's going to port it back. So that's kind of what you talked about. It's obviously, he's doing it with another item, but the same idea that you can send the one wolf back while you farm with the other. And all of a sudden, you have the bolstering armband. And what soon is going to be Steam Boots, apparently.
Right.
So here for Gemini. You see Magnus actually off to the side, so if Wretched Hag looks to play aggressive, she's going to be in some trouble, but she is playing somewhat passive, learning from her mistake earlier, apparently. And it's going to be fine. But so Gemini, he is actually having a pretty good time up here at the top lane, especially with that kill. 270 gold per minute. Again, you are kind of comparing it to a Dark Lady, though, who's just 30 gold per minute better, and that is scary.
Yeah, an interesting thing to note, though, is when you do put items on your orange... actually, some initiation coming out, too, on Wretched Hag. Doing a lot of damage, but a great save there from RT Tiger, as he is in the right place at the right time, able to get that stun off and prevent it was going to be a sure kill on the Hag there. So, good support there from RT Tiger. But an interesting thing about when you send yourself items from to the fire, what's it called, the Fire Gemini portion of the hero, it actually does not update your stats. You have to go out of your ult form and then re-click it and reactivate it in order for the stats to be updated. So it's not like you can just buy a bracer or buy strength Steam Boots or whatever and it updates it. No, you actually have to reset it. So right now you see they have 834 max health. If he resets his ultimate and does it, it's probably going to be then it's going to reset it and go to like 900 or whatever it might be. So that's the drawback with buying items on your orange Fire Gemini.
Does he not know he can finish Steam Boots at the side shop? I kind of feel like he doesn't. Because he just sent his dog all the way back. I mean, maybe he just wanted to regen it, I guess. That could be the case, but it's not like he really even took that much damage, so... He just went all the way back to buy the Gloves of Swift and finish the Steam Boots, and now he's back. But in the middle lane, we have Dark Lady actually getting jumped. The arrow on top of that, and Dark Lady will fall. Huge pick off from the Hellborn team. Bottom lane, looks like we do see Pharaoh going down to Miraxus and Wretched Hag, but clearly an exchange that the Hellborn team will be glad to have, as Valkyrie and Glacius, as well as Magnus, did a lot of work right there. And again, those are the trio of heroes. A lot of stun rotation can come out from that.
Oh my god.
Clearly that affect them. What's up?
This Valkyrie just almost got died at that Luna power throw. Oh. Very, very good aim there by Architect. But yeah, actually, if you look at the split now from Gemini, he has 1,062 life, whereas before he had 800. So it does make a difference, and it's just a little minor thing to note. And now Dark Lady TP's up here, get the farm in the top lane, and so. Magnus, exactly, Magnus is waiting. And they might be able to get a very easy kill on him.
If he's pushes up a little bit, I mean, he's going to go to this next creep wave most likely. It's just. Well, look, he's trying to pull it back a little bit, maybe get Magnus in range. Oh, I love what Gemini's doing here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. He is going to go in, though, a little bit at least with one spray, but it's not going to be enough. So maybe just try to... Oh, there we go. Magnus does it. Glacius here as well. There's our Glacial, or Ice Imprisonment, excuse me. Now Unbreakable's applied, and that will save Dark Lady. Didn't go far enough, though. Gemini still chasing. Does he have another dive coming up? Health Potion going to be active. There's the burst with the breath, though. Gets the kill. He morphs back together. Wretched Hag, look at him. There's a Twin Finks to get away. Glacius may very likely be picked off. Ice Imprisonment not going to save him. But Gemini should be fine. Luna going to go for the power throw. Missing. Pharaoh joining the party, though. And if Pharaoh finds the right target, but I don't think he's going to, and Gemini will go back to farming. So a little bit more difficult than they hoped for. Good Unbreakable from Demented Shaman, but they still got the kill in the end, so well played by Gemini and crew.
Yeah, that was very well played. And actually, I'm interested, Panny on this Demented Shaman, especially as a support Demented Shaman. I don't really agree with porting up as much gold as he has. He's got 950 gold,
Wow,
and he
yeah.
doesn't even have boots yet. So maybe just hasn't had time to buy anything. I'm not quite sure, but nonetheless, that was a very good support there from him as he's not going any levels into the entangle, and rightfully so. I think this is a smart decision. But yeah, you need to buy some boots there, Panny.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's that. Good observation to make there. Nearly 1,000 gold and only 2 minor totems and a ward of sight sitting on him. So, and speaking of Panny, he gets caught by both Pharaoh and Magnus. The Unbreakable, maybe the saving grace. So there's a Wrath of the Pharaoh at the last second. The Mummy Walls comes out. He wants this kill, and he will get the kill, looks like. But he took a bad blast. Magnus has it. Glacius after side has a Glacial Downpour. No, not enough mana now, but the Ice Imprisonment enough for the kill on a Wretched Hag. Magnus now in a little bit of trouble. Pharaoh did get picked off prior to the Steam Bath going to be used. Obviously, he knows a Quake Stun is down. He has a Lava Surge now to come out of this, and Glacius is still here as well as Valkyrie. Luna's oh, the Magnus missing the stun. The Tundra Blast went by that Deja Vu could make the juke. He points to the other one as expected, and Luna is very likely going to get away pending a great arrow, which just misses. Oh man, Archie Tiger, you are one lucky fellow right there. But yeah, Magnus missing the stun. That kind of set the tone right there.
That was a very, very big misstun right there. That should have been a very easy kill on Luna, but unfortunately, those things do happen, and they are playing with, a little bit larger ping than normal. I think Magnus is at. Yeah, actually, Magnus is pinging close to 300, the highest on his team, so that does play a little bit of a factor.
Yeah.
Shit happens, and it's not the biggest deal, biggest deal in the world.
Now, Abyssal Skull purchased on Gemini. So, what do you make of that?
Yeah, that seems like probably the most standard pickup on any Gemini player. It's very good, especially with those wolves, giving them the extra armor. And actually, right there, you see he's uses the ultimate, then reuses it again to apply the new stats that he has.
Man, Pharaoh takes that damage. Meanwhile, back to the top lane. The Eruption even going to be used on top of Meraxis. And, of course, Gemini with the split dogs gets the kill. I was watching the bottom action as well. Pharaoh got jumped by both Dark Lady and Demented Shaman, but he was able to tank it more than enough. He has his plated greaves and power supply and even that bottle, and he is more than fine. So, good hold right there, and this is looking pretty good for Impunity. I mean, both the gold and experience team stats are slightly in favor of FiT here, but we're only 15 minutes in, so very early on. But Gemini is the top farmer in the game, 327 gold per minute, and Dark Lady, she hasn't taken off. I mean, she started off fairly well, looked like she was getting a good spot, but she's at 290 right now and has been behind Gemini for a little bit here.
Yeah, it actually has the top creep farm in the game with 81 CS. And so, yeah, those 2 deaths are definitely hindering her farm a little bit. Gemini is really taking off in levels. That hero, if you get a good start on him, just takes off in experience because you get the multiple experience from both wolves if you decide to separate them. Also, some great stacking here coming out. I'm just going to assume it's from the Glacius, but I'm not quite sure, as that camp is triple stacked. And one thing to note too with Gemini, you can do if you have good micro is send your Firewolf off into the jungle to farm action. Arrow coming out on a Meraxis. It's a 5-second arrow. It's going to stun him. Is there going to be team support? 1 TP, 2 TP. Every single person I think is TPing up here, and they will fall back. Wretched Hag coming out with a Bat Blast, annihilates Miss Arrow playing that Glacius. And Gemini is definitely going to fall. So great response coming out there from the Legion team. Actually, it hasn't ended just yet, as actually Pharaoh comes in, uses the Wrath of the Pharaoh, gets the ultimate off onto Hag, but he will get the flank away. Chainsaw Massacre coming out onto Meraxis as Valkyrie's trying to fall back right here, and oh my god, this could be really bad for Valkyrie. He does actually miss that Quake Stun, I think. And oh my god, this is a very, very crazy team fight. Right there, Arrow is going to miss, as a lot of heroes are going to back away from the Legion side.
Magnus chasing in. He wants Ravaggio get a great double stump, but at what cost right here? Magnus may very likely fall. Down he goes. The Mummy Walls are up, but again, you got to question this initiation a little bit here from the Hellborn team. Pharaoh in a lot of trouble. Darkly jumps back in. The Glacial Downpour. That's a lot of damage. Meraxis barely staying alive. Dark Lady will barely stay alive as well. An arrow coming up in 2 seconds. Jonas Fan in a lot of trouble. There's the Leap. A great Aluna stun. The arrow. Oh, it nearly hits Dark Lady, but she dodges the other way. There's a Charging Strikes, and she's going to get away in the end. It looks like Aluna barely out of range as well. Glacius will just bring the creep wave with him as Wretched Hag is going for the chase. Wretched Hag so close. Wretched Hag so close. Soda Scream gonna miss. And the Haste Rune! Oh, Glacius gets a Haste Rune. Are you kidding me? Talk about the perfect rune at the perfect time and going to get away. Wow. Impunity. Love the man-up mode counter initiation there, counter reaction to the gank, but just not able to finish off Dark Lady or Aluna.
Yeah, when you pick up a haste rune at an ideal time like that, it's almost like cue the Han exit music, as he just is going to march away there with the full maximum movement speed. But, oh, that just looked very unfortunate for Impunity. It just seemed like everything was happening as perfect as it could for Team FiT. And, unfortunately, they are now at a deficit. I don't know if they were before, but they are at a deficit. It's kind of growing there quite handily for Team FiT. It's 2,600 in gold, 2,800 in experience, now 2,900. But you still have that Gemini. He's a good sign of life there. He is the top level in the game, and he's actually the top farm in the game. But Dark Lady managed to bounce back and is now at 315 gold per minute.
I think the biggest thing is you do pull the GPM chart, and again, the top farm of the game is Gemini, but look at the rest. I mean, Valkyrie and Pharaoh, they're under 200 gold per minute. And again, not to say that they haven't been doing that great, because at least Pharaoh especially is definitely doing pretty solid. But Valkyrie, you could really use some good farm on her to kind of be that semi-carry. She is 1-0-4, so obviously doing good in that. So see Wretched Hag right there blinking away as one dog leaves, but in comes Glacius, and Wretched Hag going to try to pour it out and should be fine, obviously. As Glacius, nothing more that he could have done right there, just taking a lot of creeps. Needs to be careful not to die, but so good getaway from Hag. But yeah, the supporting cast, and then on the other hand, you got the Legion side with Dark Lady up there, and then Moraxis and Wretched Hag are actually doing a fairly decent job here. So I think that's really the huge key, and obviously you look at the team stats and a big reason why they look like they are. Moraxis, Portal Key going to be in the works, and he has 1,600 plus gold saved up, so he's getting close to that. And then you have Wretched Hag, who is getting her items. And then of course you got Dark Lady with the Rune Cleaver. Very, very close to be picked up, and we all know what happens when Dark Lady gets a Rune Cleaver. Top tower going down, though, in favor of Lady Ricardo on the Gemini, so more farm for him now, as he has a Mighty Blade, by the way. I would think. Now, here's the thing. I mean, as the game progresses, I assume, there we go with the Ice Brand pickup. First off, to clarify, his minions do not get attack modifiers, right?
No, they do not.
Okay. Just to clarify.
Magnus missed a stun right there. Would have been a sure kill on Wretched Hag. Now, she was fogged there for a little bit, so not like a horribly bad miss stun, but that would have been very, very fortunate for them to get that stun.
Well, you see both the Geminis are running back. Glacius also trying to get away, but I think Miss Air overstayed his welcome a little bit too much right there, and Glacius does get picked off. But Gemini is still in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he should be fine, however, just out of range. So again, the attack modifiers do not go to the dogs. He does go to Ice Brand. So is it safe to assume that he's going to start focusing in these fights more as his actual form, or?
Well, he's actually going pretty much the exact same build that I go, like 2 with T, and this is why I think leveling up some of his skills over stats is a little smart. Actually, some action coming out here. Very big pickups in both Ninja Boogie and Skrillet, if that's how you say his name. Skrillet. I can't say it. But anyway, they get picked up. That's a huge boost there for Jonas fan there on the Dark Lady. He is now the top farm in the game, surpassed Gemini at 360 gold per minute. Actually, kind of neck and neck there. But they're also going to push this tower, and you got to assume that his farm is going to be very good, especially picking up that Rune Cleaver.
Yeah, and in fact, there we go. The tower goes down, and Probusk actually gets credit for the tower kill on that Wretched Hag. So, but you were mentioning, so Gemini apparently is going your build to a T pretty much here.
Yeah, the attack modifiers don't stack on the wolves, but I really like playing Gemini as like both effective in his old form and then out of it. It really, I think, gives the full effect to his hero as a whole. So I'd like to see him max. The one in his Twin Fangs is fine. I mean, that damage, it doesn't really do very much. It's very, very hard to hit the stun, actually. Really, really hard. And the Twin Strike, I actually like to see that level 1. It makes it very easy for last hitting. But that definitely helps with attack modifiers, as well as like the say if you get a what is this called? No Fire Blade.
Yeah,
that's a very effective pickup as well on him. But I think the main issue is that the Firebrand is, and then when you pick up the Ice Brand combined, it gives just overall good stats to the hero. So I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see, in his lone dog form, he has 1651 life, actually quite a bit. In his I'm guessing what's his main form, at least it says on the side, he has 1860 life. Back to the bottom lane there, we have Valkyrie in a lot of trouble. The dive happens, gets the kill, but in comes the counter for the Hellborn team. A great catch. Unbreakable is applied, though, and Dark Lady should be fine. In fact, you see Wretched Hag helping to hold the ground, as well as a Storm Cloud even coming out from the Message Thomas. So just enough. And in the meantime, at the top lane, Aluna and Moraxis, they combo together to get the kill on a Gemini, actually. So that was a good sequence of events right there coming out from FiT, as both at the bottom and the top lane, that make some kills happen. Now Gemini going to be resurrecting another 40 seconds while this bottom tower is being pushed in by this 3-man push here. We got Magnus and Glacius nearby, But it's just them for now, and you can't expect too much to happen. Pharaoh does have his ultimate ready to go, so if he can get over here. We do see a port coming. It looks like it's Valkyrie porting, and Magnus gets us out once again on Darkly. There's the Unbreakable once again. Bat Blast going to be used. The Unbreakable should go off right here, barely keeping Darkly alive. In the meantime, after the Pharaoh was used, Magnus ends up falling. They cannot get this kill. Darkly will somehow manage to escape again. Glacius going to fall to Demented Shaman, and now Pharaoh's going to start turning around and running back. He's dropping, but should be fine when it's all said and done. And they didn't have the tower alley, so the red power throw goes on through. But again, Dark Lady does survive.
Yeah, this is just looking really, really bad for Impunity, and it really comes down to how they laned this. And you talked about Glacius roaming to the mid lane to give assistance to Pharaoh. I don't think that was necessary at all, and it's really showing. I mean, Valkyrie's farm is just pitiful. I mean, 162 gold per minute. They have no other care than the Gemini. All their at this rate anyway. I mean, Valkyrie's not going to be carrying this game. All their eggs are in the basket of Gemini, and that's not smart to do when you're playing against a Dark Lady as well. I mean, the whole lineup from the Legion side is very, very strong. All those heroes have decent farm now, even the Demented Shaman, and so this bottom lane was really the factor into why FiT is doing so well.
Yeah. You got an Abyssal Skull now finished on Dark Lady, and actually Puzzle Box just finished on Wretched Hag, so Wretched Hag going the Puzzle Box route here. What do you make of Puzzle Box pickup?
Shout out to Chu.
Yeah.
Made famous by Chu is he always goes Puzzle Box on Wretched Hag. It's pretty much any hero, actually. But Puzzle Box is actually a very, very good pickup here. It's going to be very good against the Pharaoh. You get that mana burn on him. He's close to useless.
Yeah.
It's going to reveal Magnus. It's just an overall strong team fight item. And if you can get it early, it just really increases the effectiveness of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned just the gold farm in general, and the Legion team is just looking strong all around now, and it's showing in the items big time. You got from a Luna to Demented Shaman, got boots in the power supply, so at least it's managing as well as all the wards that I'm sure Panty has been placing. And so, but like you're saying, really all the eggs are put into one basket here for Impunity. Really with that Gemini. Right now, he is trying to spread out and trying to get some experience at the bottom lane, as well as farming up here in the top jungle. So definitely trying to maximize in that. And he is level 14, which let's see, helps with Frostburn and looking to be finished here. And will run into a Wretched Hag, actually. Does this combo. Just look at that burst damage coming out. Not going to be enough for a kill, but boy, oh boy, does he do a lot of damage. Magnus was actually coming. If he got there in time, that would have been an easy kill. But we did see some power right there coming up from Gemini on what he can actually do. But he's going to go back to farming here at the top lane. As a Legion team, specifically Dark Lady, has just really taken off. And again, that's why I said earlier, we all know what Dark Lady does with Rune Cleaver. And another example of it right here. Now, 450 gold per minute. Firebrand just picked up as well. So she too is possibly on her way to a Frostburn, if not finishing Geometer's Bane even. But they're all going to group up here in the middle lane, and the Legion team may make some type of push. Again, they got more access with that portal key as well as even a Bound Eye now. So